Hi, Cosmin. How are you?
Hello, Victor. Quite nice. And you?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. It's always nice when you're busy and you're helping people. I see that you're in the comfort of your home, so I believe that we'll be exemplifying the work from anywhere today, since I'm in the office and you're at home. With some light apologies to our followers, we haven't been able to keep up the rhythm we have used people to, due to the fact that we had a ton of work to do. You know this as much as I do. So it's always nice when you really see that you can help people and you can do out of good for them. So again, apologies that we couldn't keep up our series. We promised to organize our schedules a bit better. And we are really glad that we had beautiful interactions and great projects to be working on this last period. So Cosmin, we were talking last week about something we read together. Sounds like a joke, but it's actually very serious, and it's a very nice thing that I noticed, and it's quite impressive. So the story was that an AI was developed for a supermarket chain in order to differentiate between different type of pastries, in order to create an ease of use for the cashiers. So, for example, you had to have a difference between a croissant or a bear claw. And suddenly somebody had the idea to put that solution to the test in the medical field, and they noticed that this solution can actually differentiate between normal cells and cancer cells. So a huge help for the medical industry. This happened in Japan. So, and it's a story which is quite old, and surprisingly, we verified it, and what do you know? It turns out to be true. Of course, it's not in the simple way that we explained it here. It would take about 30 minutes to explain what are the differences and how it works. But certainly, for me, it was quite shocking to know that, hey, this solution is so impressive, so refined that it can really save lives. So, were you at least impressed, or were you already knowing of these capabilities that AI could have?
I was, of course, I'm always impressed when I hear about AI, and but I think that I'm actually pretty certain that this case with a solution to something, to a problem or to a challenge that turns out to be the solution for many other challenges. I think this is just one of the many stories that have been around since human history.
Indeed. Now, we can relate to some medical inventions also, but yeah. So, going past this anecdote and this funny story, which turns out to be really serious in the end, and although in the other side it sounds like it's very helpful and it can prevent serious cases of cancer. Do you have in mind some ideas for example, for AI that can be used in practical cases?
Absolutely. So, out of the bat, I could think of security, for example, a security company that offers security solutions and packages to its clients could implement a AI camera detection and prevention system so that the artificial intelligence analyzes the live feed of the cameras and assesses the threat. It can even go as far as, I actually seen some videos about this, it can go as far as understanding the emotions of the person, or at least estimating the emotions of the person, judging by their facial grimace, so to speak, their facial, the state in which their face is in, basically. Because when we have a bad day, we tend to
You kind of
sport
notice it,
around.
yeah.
Yes.
Indeed. So this would be helpful in shops, I'm guessing, or in institutions, or
Yes, it could be either shops. There's this famous thing that a lot of countries are common with. A lot of teenagers gang up in front of gas stations and in front of marketplaces They grab a couple of beers and they make a ruckus and they just drink over there. And when they are done, they just go inside again and refill, basically turning the marketplace in their personal bar terrace. So such a system could be implemented to detect lollygagging. I like this word.
Okay,
and
sounds interesting.
Even some other measures could be implemented. I actually heard of a nice one in which there was a sound played that could only be heard on the frequency only by young people. Turns out that with age, our ears change in such a way that some frequencies are almost invisible to the human ear. Well, not for the young ones, so as they are usually the ones sitting on top in front of the stores, this can be a measure to deter them without even sending an automatic response team of the security company.
Okay, so quite good for prevention rather than damage control, limitations, or interventions.
Exactly.
Pretty nice. Now, rather than going into this security thing, which is quite complex, we can assist, but it's a multiple level system. So you need the cameras. I'm sure that you need quality cameras. You need the system. You need the AI. Then you need some operators or a decision mechanism. Something, let's say, more related to paperwork, which I believe everybody who's ever worked with institutions or companies would be able to relate to.
I believe that the future of state affairs, state matters in relationship with the people will change drastically in the next few years. I've already seen solutions implemented in such a way that an AI is just accepting the inputs of a person requesting, for example, a certain document. And this AI will then cross-reference the data to check if it's valid. And if the checks go further, it automatically decides what the person needs and will fill out the form. And basically, the whole system would be automatic and done in a few minutes.
So you basically fill out a form, you send it to the portal, the AI behind it analyzes it, and you get the result by email.
Yes.
Nice automation. So that would be less of a burden on the state structure and better service to the state citizen.
Absolutely. And
very
if
nice.
Somebody would have a complaint, why not implement it even for feedback forms? And it can actually decide which is the tone of the person speaking and if they are more upset or more happy about it. So basically, customer sentiment analysis.
Okay, and you can direct it to your better customer care people or to the ones which are maybe in training and they can handle a calm person rather than an angry one.
Exactly.
Nice. Sounds very nice. So this is an endless subject. So if we start with it, we could finish in 2 months. But I would think for the moment it would be quite enough to stop here. I believe that we on the Google side, we have a very good AI platform. I'm sure don't know that much as you do on it. So really looking forward to explaining more in the future about it.
Yep, definitely.
So for Google, what does AI mean, or how does Google see the AI they developed within their platform?
Well, that's a great question, and it's actually a very large subject, so I'll try to squeeze in the most important information as much as possible.
Be concise. We can develop it in further videos or in further occasions where we can go on every single item, but just have an overview. I wouldn't say a definition because it's pretty hard to define, but just an overview.
So as we spoke, ranging from healthcare to finance to institutions, automation is already there. And there is no such industry in which AI and machine learning could not be able to transform the world and give ease of life to every individual. But we cannot imagine AI separate from cloud computing. They are totally relatable. And in 2020, more than 90% of the companies are using cloud service for large data storage, for analysis, big data analysis, for data streaming even. And we've seen the first steps in use of machine learning. And this pay-as-you-go pricing model applies over here as well, just as with any other cloud product, which is definitely a big plus. And when people think about AI, usually they think like, it's super hard. I'm not at the level to adopt this. I don't
Or
even know where to
maybe,
start.
sorry to interrupt you, or maybe something like in the science fiction movies, like in the sci-fis where it takes over, or I don't know, something bad happens because of AI.
I would say firstly that everybody can stay can stay calm about this subject, because I think we have a very long way in when AI will actually take control or be able to, or have the power to actually pose a threat.
Okay.
But right now, people use AI for all sorts of things, ranging from auto machine learning, which is pretty cool. This service basically leverages Google's proprietary research technology, and also relies on Google's state-of-the-art transfer learning and neural architecture search technology to achieve a lot of performance and accurate predictions. So in simpler terms, what this means is that you feed the data that you have to a database, and it can actually, based on the parameters that you configure it to, it can actually learn to predict certain info that you're looking for, certain data, and you can have an actual overview instead of just sifting through all the data. And here we can also include text-to-speech, which is basically self-explanatory. You can actually do it from text to speech, so it can read something for you, or actually transform voice into text back again. And this is a very big subject. You can use from all ranges, from translation to maybe an application for truck drivers, so they don't need to take their hands off their wheels. Over here, we can include also Dialogflow from Google, which is basically a development suite that creates chatbots. And we already, I think all of us already entered at least one website in which after a few seconds, a chat pops up and they say over there, "Can I help you with something?"
Yeah.
Most of the times, those are actually chatbots. That's not a real human being talking.
It happened. I can confirm it happened to me. Okay. Yeah. Sounds familiar. So these are a number of components or applications for AI. Well, considering it's a huge subject, I think it's better to stop here before we go way further. But still, if anybody's interested, feel free to reach us.
Absolutely. And one thing that I would like to mention before ending would be that Google's mission is right now to enable people that are interested in AI to make their first step. So they offer a minimum of $2,000 in initial startup credits for this purpose. Bear that in mind.
Very nice.
You have opportunities to scale your business via the Google accelerators, events, and global community, which is full of experts with your project. And you can get one-on-one mentorship if your startup for the AI project is feasible. So if you have something specific in mind, you can actually do that. And also Google offers a very big amount of technical training resources that start from a flow that you can start from just step one. What's the step one? Which is assessing what are your needs, what is your current situation. So from that point, Google guides you in order to chart your future into AI. And It's Google in general is open to adding additional credits and offering additional support for people that would like to do such a project.
Great, it sounds fabulous, and really, really happy that there is this openness from them to give the solution to help people start. That's quite important. Well, very interesting things learned now, and just rekindle my curiosity, so I have to learn more in the future. Again, thank you so much for your inputs. Happy to speak to you again. Looking forward to speaking to you quite soon again. And all the best.
Thank you very much, Victor, and thank you to all of you who are watching us. Please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. And if you would like to hear more about our solution, contact us at the email or telephone number below. Thank you very much, and see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.